So I have 3 boys, and communication with boys can be different. When you ask me to talk to them, it can be good on some days and hard on some days. Can we talk about what you can we talk about what you mean by talk in the context of this mental injury?
Sure. Well, partly putting into words the description of emotions. That's a really helpful thing, and that you have to do from when they're little. That's why I love Toby the Tank Engine. But then I think as they get older, their interests are developing, and they're starting to realise what they're good at and what they like doing. Not necessarily subjects at school, but what they're interested in. So often it's about starting with listening. What are they interested in? And then start talk about that, and then move it perhaps to what you'd quite like to talk about, so that it's kind of starting with what they are interested in first, because we all know children are incredibly egocentric. It doesn't change overnight just because they're now teenagers, but they learn to listen to others by being listened to. It's like respect. People don't automatically respect others. They respect when they're being respected. And I think it's that two-way thing that we need to develop. So the listening first, and then trying to get them to talk.
So one of the pieces of advice that I got in the early days is you have to find out what your kids like, and you need to learn to love it. If they like matchsticks, now you like matchsticks. And I can't say I like Fortnite much, but that's definitely been something that's come through with my children.
Yeah.
One of the pieces of advice that I have lived through raising my boys was eating dinner at the table every night. And it seemed it was necessary at the time because it ticked a box in terms of me being recognised as a more functioning parent. Like, it literally was something that was looked for as an example of a high functioning parent, was that you ate at the table every night. So we did, to make that go away as a thing. My 14-year-old just said to me he really enjoys eating dinner at the table every night because he knows that none of his friends do.
I think that eating at the table, the stats are there. Halves the risk of smoking, halves the risk of depression, halves the risk of teenage pregnancy. Stats are there from the research that we do amongst school
Eating
students.
at the table has such a big impact.
Yeah. And I think what the key thing is about belonging.
Yes.
Because when you eat at the table, around the same table, it doesn't have to be the same thing every night, but as much as you can, that really helps that feeling of belonging. And that is what gives you security and the safe environment for your brain to develop. And you learn to interact, and you learn to interact with respect and take your turn.
It has been amazing. I'm so grateful we were forced, because we were, and it's okay that we were, forced to do this for the greater good, and it really has shown the benefit of it.
Yeah.
And then we've had other people join us at the table, and I remember also one of my boys saying afterwards, wow, that person has no skills to sit at a table and talk to other people.
Yeah. So, really good advice.
It was excellent advice, and I'm pleased that we have.